Hello, Proguides team, it's me, Dan, again. Listen, I got nothing against blue people, but Smurfs? I don't like Smurfs. They hide in plain sight and make a mockery of the sacred MMR system. It's like getting hustled in billiards. Nobody likes Smurfs except Smurfs, so let's talk about how to beat them. But first, the question of the day. Do you report a Smurf if they're on your team? Look, I know I said we all hate Smurfs, but I will do almost anything for 30 MMR, so I usually don't. So when someone Smurfs against us, we have a way lower chance of winning. That's just how it's going to be. Let's say you win 15% of your games against Smurfs. With this video, we're aiming to boost that to at least 30% win rate, which will materialize into significant MMR gains like fast, depending on how often you encounter them. The Smurf is your garden variety offender. Fed up with supposedly being in the so-called shadow pool or afraid of playing tough games, they look to beat up smaller kids on the playground and take their candy. The Booster is our most feared opponent. A professional Smurf, the Booster ranks up accounts for money and will do any and everything to win. They have boosting down to a science for their own efficiency, but it is this exact formula which we'll learn to take advantage of later in this video. The Buyer is the anti-Smurf. They aren't playing on their true account and instead bought an account or paid for boosting. These are the Smurfs we hope to see on the enemy team and not on our own. Just mute the Buyers and play your own game without relying on them for anything. The Griefer is the absolute scum of the earth who makes another account just to ruin games. Hopefully they spend 95% of their time in low priority and then get 6-month banned. At least Valve is handing out those big bans now, so we barely ever see the dedicated Griefer anymore. The Fun with Friends Smurf is a more wholesome high-rank player who makes a new account to play with low-rank friends. Hopefully they aren't super try-harding and instead of sweating out Meepo games, they do crazy stuff like carry Undying and utility build Dragon Knight. You know Smurfing is a problem when there are just whole heroes whose reputation revolve around Smurfs, namely Meepo and Broodmother, notable mention to Morphling and Alchemist. They could pick any mid or carry, but the most ruthless Smurfs are looking for heroes that can solo end games and farm both creeps and heroes after the laning stage. Shadow Fiend, Leshrac, Storm, whatever. 99% of Smurfs will play mid or carry, and 99% of boosters will play mid because they don't want to have any interaction with their own team, since that adds variables into their stomp lane win game formula. Smurfs, especially boosters, are counting on you being bad. They will play aggressively because they think you'll mess up. Don't give them those windows to easily abuse you. I'm begging you to watch our guide on trading because any decent Smurf understands how to trade well, and if you don't understand just as well, you will get stomped. This is a must-watch for defeating Smurfs. The Smurf is often looking to play lone wolf style because they don't trust their team. They're also betting on you being passive. If they want to play away from their team, let them and take advantage of the 4 others who are playing without their best player. Time is key to maximum skill expression. What I mean by that is the longer the game drags on, the more opportunities the Smurf has to outplay and outfarm you. Don't give them that time and abuse their 4 other players. I listed out the potential weaknesses you could take advantage of. Now let's talk about how to apply those concepts into a concrete play style. In short, play aggressively. It's better to play to win than to not lose, because in a fair game, time is our enemy against Smurfs. Go for lots of kill on other lanes, but be careful of diving towers. Sure, still do it sometimes, but the millisecond you see the Smurf TP to the fight, run for the hills. The Smurf will play solo until it is convenient for them to show up to fights, and that's exactly what a tower dive provides, an easy access point to a fight. You must play a strong laning style and mirror whatever the Smurf does to the best of your ability. Most of them will just look to push their lane and then take jungle, rinse, and repeat. Most Smurf heroes are terrible in the early laning stage, so don't be afraid of them yet. Recognize if they're going for kills on you or not. Just push your lane right back and jungle in between waves too. The worst thing you can do against the Smurf is feed solo kills because it gives so much XP. Once their hero gets strong, you must get help from your team to kill them once and then leave the lane, or just leave the lane once you start getting killed. Instead, look to play around the sidelines and break up the laning stage and start fights. Always check their items so you can respond accordingly with your own items. The booster hates their team and probably has them all muted. Maybe their team is mad at them for stealing mid. Take advantage of their lack of communication and cohesion by playing fast. Keep out a ward in your own jungle, since the Smurf is often trying to take over your triangle because it's just the good thing to do, and they always play greedy, but you can punish them. You have 2 main options when it comes to the mentality behind your build when playing against better players. You can go for the cheese strats of grouping up and making items for pushing. We see the same strategy in tournament qualifiers when tier 3 teams go up against tier 1 teams. Like when EG streamed their TI Open Qualifier run, they would first ban out Husker and Brood against every team, even though those heroes weren't OP. Better players fear cheese because they are lactose intolerant. Also, they understand how to play against the meta. People fear what they don't understand. You can go full cheese build on a Brood of your own. The problem with this is it requires a lot of teamwork, but if you're immortal playing against high-rank Smurfs, this is a great strategy. Get Venno, Lycan, Husker, whatever, and push the enemy down. If you cannot get your team to coordinate a push, then itemize and skill for trading in the lane, and later itemize very aggressively. I'm talking Abyssal Blade, Scythe, Shadow Blade, Daedalus, and the like. The reason for this is because your tankiness has diminishing returns against a better player. They'll just avoid you if they think they can't kill you. We want damage and initiation so we can kill them in the few times we catch them out. The Smurfs play without respect for you, so you can solo kill them with the right hero and items since they farm so aggressively, counting on their reactions and your lack of coordination to keep them safe. Shadowblade especially forces the Smurf to never be 6-slotted to carry dust, or if they don't, then we can just likely escape or initiate on them. Always initiate on the Smurf when possible. Their team is just as bad if not worse than yours. They won't do a great job protecting or responding to their player being initiated on, and once the Smurf is out of the picture, the rest of the team fight should be smooth sailing, even if we popped everything just on one Broodmother. Back to itemizing and skilling for the lane. What we mean by this is taking abilities like Wave of Terror on Venge first over the stun. The Smurf will always look to outtrade you, and often they will succeed because players don't know how to react to aggression and don't buy enough early items like Wraithband and Wand, whereas the Smurf is always decked out with early items. The simplest solution to them bullying you in lane is to just hit them back. Got hit? Hit back. Don't save spells, don't run away right away, just hit back. Even if they are 7k and you're 1k, nothing about their hero stats just becomes stronger. You get what I'm saying? This isn't like a fighting game where they can just blow you out of the water with combos and better reactions right away. They're limited by their stats like damage and attack speed just like everyone else. It's so important you embrace the mantra that it's okay to lose. In victory, there is victory. In defeat, there is victory of the wisdom gained. Yes, it's unfair you lost to a Smurf, but the only way a Smurf truly defeats you is if you let it affect your mentality. Remember, it's you who just got the experience of playing against a higher skilled opponent. Meanwhile, the Smurf is actively making themselves worse at the game by forming bad habits against players in lower brackets. Just sit back and have a laugh knowing they're smurfing because they are too scared to queue against players their own MMR. Just report them and move on, don't sweat it. Remember, every game there's only 4 chances to have an idiot on your team and 5 chances for your opponent to have one, assuming you're not an idiot, which you're not. A defeated mindset is a defeated player. Don't chain queue after you lost 2 or 3 in a row. Take a shower, eat something healthy, work out, do whatever it is that you like to do other than play Dota. When you feel your best, you play your best. Don't push the envelope on good days where you already have a win streak. Quit while you're ahead on that day. I know our writer Vinny had a moment where he chain queued down to rank 3,300 at one point, but by just winning 2 or 3 games a day, he made it to rank 800 in a couple of months. And yes, there are Smurfs in Immortal. There can be Smurfs everywhere. You'll see streamers complain about the Smurfs, but they don't let it frustrate them next game. They can't afford to. Everybody suffers from this, not just you. The universe or Valve is not out to get you. There is no forced 50% win rate. The only constant in every match is you. If you play your best in a good mindset, you will climb given enough time. And more importantly, we all play games to have fun, right? It's not fun for anyone to get mad, so please don't let the Smurfs get you down. That's the only way to lose. If you know you can't help getting angry at Smurfs, just don't even check for them. Sometimes I just let my double down rip without looking at my opponents, win, and then see there was a Smurf. Good thing I didn't check, because if I had, I'd probably be too scared to use my double down. Not everyone who has a bad game is a buyer, and not everyone who crushes you is a Smurf. You can only play better as an individual. You can't control those outside factors, so it only does harm, not good to stress about it. Thanks, as always, for watching, everybody. Please leave a comment. We enjoy reading them all, and because of your comments, we decided to make this video. You can and do influence what we put out for you because we want to make what you want to see. Like, subscribe, and enable notifications to see what we've got coming out next. Stay cool, and see you in the next one.